Hello, good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Thanks for tuning in today on the Digital Marketing Podcast and video, where we talk about digital marketing tactics and strategies to help grow your business. Today, I want to talk about how to flip your business growing pains into momentum mojo to fuel your entire team. We've all had it before. You close the deal, you're so excited, you've got a new client, you're all pumped up, feeling great about yourself, and you kind of just, within an hour, things kind of settle down, and you find yourself kind of like, okay, we're, just keep on going through, the motions. And I think that that's a very normal response for small businesses or small teams when you have those successes. So I think first of all, let's imagine, and here's the other thing too, like especially if you're in a seasonal business where maybe you've got there's maybe reporting time, or there's some seasonal trigger, obviously, like tax people, who see a huge influx, in February, March, and April, when people are trying to file their taxes. And you've got in the automotive industry, the summertime is huge. A lot of people have the time off, and so they're looking for cars. Real estate industry, same thing. And you're so dadgum busy that you don't have time to really put into practice or kind of work on the nuts and bolts, because you're literally shaking hands and saying thank you, and then saying hello to the next person, and shaking their hand and saying thank you, and then welcoming the next person. I mean, it's literally just one after the other, and you're so busy that you don't have the opportunity to really stop and think. The one thing that I do think is interesting for businesses who are going through a growth phase like that, is don't be afraid to really ask for a rate. You should be paid what you're worth, and so if you find yourself in a growth spurt, this is a great opportunity for you to reevaluate. And we're not talking about price gouging or anything like that. We're just talking about, hey, if our service packages were X, for the last 5 years, and we haven't raised the price because the economy has been in the crapper, and whatever the economic circumstances are in your industry or in your local economy, you can adjust to that. And especially in a time when you've gone, where you've seen growth, and you're really adding these new clients on, be proud of yourself. Know that you are worth every single penny, and the product that you represent, and the team that you represent really do deserve to get paid. And so maybe you've been underselling your services for a long time. Maybe it's time to rethink that. So number one, I want to say maybe it's time to step into your Mercedes rate plan. Maybe you've been operating under the Ford pricing plan, and not to say that Fords are cheap and Mercedes are expensive, because there are plenty of Ford trucks that are just as expensive as Mercedes and worth the money. Now, so you are, you're super busy. So if you think about it, what is your mojo day? When do you come in most pumped up? Is it on Friday? Is it on Monday? Like, when do you find yourself most excited about the possibility and the potential, of what's happening? When you're in that moment, that's when you need to focus those energies and do the things that suck, that you don't want to do. I know that seems counterintuitive, But I think it's so true. And I think that some of those things we've talked about, in the series that I did with Katie Lilly, the book Traction by Gino Wickman, we talk about that. We talk about documenting your process, mapping out, what it is that you do. So one of the tools that we use is a tool called Asana, Asana, asana.com. You can go there. It's a great project management web-based tool. You can share with your teams. Very affordable. They do have free plans that are limited. But you can go in and you can create a template that will allow you to create that consistency so that every time a new client comes on board, you can have, okay, we need this documentation to get started, and then we're going to go through these milestones, and you can kind of have that process mapped out. Maybe it's time for you to create an onboarding process. Maybe you've just been kind of doing it out of repetition over and over and over again. Maybe it's time to leverage some online project management tools to allow you to really expedite and empower your team to be able to have the information that they need. Again, this is an opportunity when you're going through growth that is actually when you're most likely to slip up and misstep because you're so busy. So getting a tool that allows you to map out the process and create a web-based template so that when it's time for you to crank out, and start up a new, business relationship with your client, you have all of the criteria. Maybe you create a series of emails that go out on day 1, on day 7, on day 10. You're asking them for specific things. You're giving them time to complete it, but you're giving them a roadmap and an expectation of what to expect next and what can they be working on in order to help you provide them the best experience. So take your best Mojo day and try to document and try to plan and map out, because you're going to have the energy and go after it. It is painfully difficult to try to muster up the encourage or the determination to map out a process when you're just down and things are slow. You want to strike when the match is hot, especially when your mojo is high, whether it's right after you close the deal or whether it's you come in on Monday or what have you. I think the next thing we need to think about is getting out of your own way. I think this is the one thing, especially for leaders and people who are in management, sometimes having the control, like, oh, I need to be in control of the whole process. Like, you're actually doing the reverse. You're actually creating a bottleneck, so that really the nothing can really move forward and pick up the momentum until you let it go and allow it to move forward in the process. And so if you do have that project management tool in place and you can map out the way you do it, then you're able to sort of have that knowledge transfer with your team, and you can understand that, okay, I have ridiculously high standards and it's got to be done a certain way. Well, if that's the case, map it out step by step, create a task list, have it be part of that, project template so that they follow it step by step. And that way you can continue to move on and continue to move and execute activities and business hacks, to help grow your business. I think next would be thinking about the people who are on your team. When you're going through this, these growing pains, and you're looking for a way to, sort of bottle the momentum and bottle that mojo so that you can really fuel your entire team, you need to look at, this is a great time for you to, evaluate and observe where the strengths are in your team, and not only recognize those strengths, but also to let them know, whether you send out an email every Monday to that person, and you let them know what your expectations are, or you recap what they did great last week, maybe it's time to, and this is, again, going back to, you're so busy, 100 things are going on, but this is the time that is critical for you to be able to recognize the good work so that they feel that same momentum, that same mojo that you have, because you just closed that deal and you just added, $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 in gross revenue to the bottom line of the company, and you want them to feel empowered as well. So looking for how can you inspire them to also take action, responsibility, and accountability to ensure that this new client, this new customer, really receives the very best that it comes. Again, they're paying Mercedes rate. They should have Mercedes white glove treatment as well. No matter if it's from the owner of the company, to the person that answers the phone and everyone in between. So, I think that a saying that I've come across that says, if you spend a minute in organization, get back an hour in productivity. I think that's what this whole series is really about. And I think it's within the digital realm, because there are tools like Asana, or recently I've been playing around with Agile CRM, as not so much as the CRM in a traditional sense of customer relationship management, but they have a sales dashboard that I'm kind of playing around with that has some interesting features of how many deals are coming in. It's got some really nice graphs and kind of pie charts that can show you some different things. It's got automatic integration with Outlook 365, G Suite, Gmail, your IMAP, so your email system can hook up into it. Again, they've got a freemium platform, as well as rates that are like $10 a month. So very affordable for if you've been doing business for 20, 30 years and everything has been notebook paper and notepads. In order to really move forward in technology and scale your business, you've got to go through the knowledge transfer of what you know and how you do it with the rest of your team. And one of the best ways to do that is through web-based tools like Asana or like Agile CRM, where you can document and create these processes so that everyone does, receive the Michael treatment, or whatever your, the way that you like to do it is. So again, if you're going through, these growing pains, now is the time to really bottle that momentum, bottle that mojo, and use it to fuel your entire team so that you can sustain this growth. So those are my thoughts today, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. My name is Michael Wynn. I'm the Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.